Text just old or new. Keep it simple.
Did everybody get that? Have we texted? Have we done it? Can I see the whites of your eyes? Right, okay, just moving on to another new slot that we're introducing this evening for this new season called Recommended. And this slot is where, as a team, a MainRoom team, we recommend to you something that will help you, resources that will help you in your Christian walk or on your spiritual journey. And that could be books, maybe a website we've seen, it could be a podcast, a film, or anything that we think, you know what, we'll recommend this to those who attend MainRoom. So what I'm going to recommend to you this evening is, following on from what Brad was talking about regarding old and new, podcasting. Okay, so can I see a show of hands for those people that download and listen to podcasts? Just a few of you. Okay, alright then, so for those of you that are not familiar with podcasts, what a podcast is normally you listen to a podcast either on your PC or on your iPod or an MP3 player or on your mobile phone. So a podcast is a small piece of audio on your iPhone. Everybody look at Mark's iPhone, please. Thank you. Round of applause for Mark's iPhone. Right, isn't that good? So a podcast basically is a piece of audio. And it can be of any duration. It can be from a minute long to half an hour to an hour. They tend to be short pieces of audio. And you can access a podcast via websites. So I'm going to just recommend a few podcasts for you this evening. So you can normally go to websites to download podcasts, or what I tend to use, I know a lot of people use, is iTunes. Anybody familiar with iTunes? Yeah? So iTunes is a piece of software that you can download onto your PC. It doesn't have to be a Mac. I know a lot of people associate iTunes with iMacs, but you can download to your PC as well, Windows. And I'll just take to the next slide so you can actually see what an iTunes window looks like. For those of you that are not familiar with iTunes, this is kind of what it looks like. And what I'm going to recommend to you this evening in regards to podcasts, because you can get all sorts of podcasts. And what a great thing about podcasting is that it's mobile, so you can take it anywhere with you, or you can listen to a podcast at home. And I would recommend, or the team would recommend to you really, is podcast sermons. So you can have sermons on the go. They tend to be around half an hour, 20 minutes to half an hour long. And there's several that you can choose from. I'm just going to recommend a couple of them for you this evening. So obviously I have to mention the Birmingham Christian Centre podcast. So for those of you that didn't know, you can actually sign up to get a Birmingham Christian Centre podcast. So what you do is you go to the iTunes store, if you're not familiar with that, and all you do is type in Birmingham Christian Centre, and it will come up with a podcast for Birmingham Christian Centre. All podcasts are free, so you don't have to pay for anything. Like I said, you can listen to it on your PC, or you can listen to it on the go, whether it be an iPod or an MP3 player or your mobile phone, etc. When you go through iTunes, what you actually get is the last few sermons as well. So whether you've missed last week's sermon or you've missed a couple of sermons before that, you can actually go back through the list and you can have a look at some of the sermons that you may have missed, or you may just want to listen to them again. So they're always available and you can listen to them any time. So once you've accessed and you've kind of signed up to a podcast, basically what it does is it refreshes every week. So after Johnny's sermon this evening, you'll be able to go onto iTunes, refresh your iTunes, and you should get it within the next couple of days, because our lovely media team, they upload it straight away as soon as the service is finished. I'm just going to move on to the next slide. There's several different podcasts, like I said, different sermons, different people that you can listen to. It just depends on your time, because everybody has a different way of preaching and of speaking, so it just depends on what you're used to, the tone that you want to listen to, really. So again, this is just another view of iTunes. I'm just moving on to the next slide there. And also as well, over the coming weeks, or the next few MainRooms, we'll be recommending things like books as well. So books is another thing that you can kind of go into iTunes, go to the iTunes store, and if you don't not keen on reading, you can actually download the book as an audio. Yeah, and you can listen to an audio book instead. So that's something that we'll talk more about later on. Just moving on to the next slide, just to kind of look at recommending a couple of sermons that we listen to as a team. So of course, Birmingham Christian Centre is a podcast that we download and listen to. Joyce Meyer, most of you are familiar with Joyce Meyer. Abundant Life Church, you've got the senior pastor and also the assistant pastors. They tend to have podcasts. Paul Scallion, some of you may be familiar with, and Charlotte, his daughter. Great sermons, great teachers. T.D. Jakes, if you fancy a bit of T.D. Jakes. Brian Houston, Hillsongs, Rob Bell, some of you may be familiar with the Numa videos. Rob Bell is a fantastic communicator. And also Joel Osteen, if you want a bit of a pep talk, a bit of a coke and a smile, and go to listen to Joel Osteen, he's fantastic. So yes, that's our recommendation for this week, podcasting. You know, if you're thinking, oh, I haven't got time to read my Bible, I haven't got time to read in the morning and things like that, you know, what you can do is maybe listen to a podcast while you're getting dressed, while you're having your breakfast or something, or even download it, plug in your iPod and listen to it on your way to school or on the way to work or anything like that. Okay, so that's our recommended slot for this week. Thank you.